All right, so this is our trash tier draft league. We used Ethan's picture as a mascot. As you can see right here, we got Ethan is Trikster, and then we have Dasnowman. And we're gonna go through the draft. Just be quick, fun video. Probably not quick actually, but fun video. Just going over each other's drafts. Um, so the first team we have is Omega's, which is Foxfire style. Bales can't type worth of shit.
Oh.
So
Oops.
that's supposed to be Foxfire style.
I can.
So
I can.
that's fine. So, uh, Bales, once you get done fixing that, just go ahead and start.
Uh,
Me and Bales had some time to write some stuff down. Ethan's just gonna, throw his opinion out at the end of each slide. But just start with the signature mon if you can, Bales.
all right. So, Bales is the snowman. Just
Yeah, just a man.
for
Sorry.
the people that don't know. So first we started with OmegaDawning's team. His signature mon, Chestnut. Me and Cheat both kind of ranked it as a D. The mon has like a move pool and everything, but like the 4 times weakness is pretty slow, kind of frail. Especially it's gonna take a lot for it to work well. I could see ways where it does work well, but it's gonna be tough.
Well,
So
hold on, Ethan. Would you wanna? What would you rate it? S through D or F?
I like going after you guys, so I can just copy all your stuff. Um, I'd say probably I mean, it's a C or a D
Okay.
for me. I mean, that
give him a
to
C
me
minus.
that
There you go.
there's not really. I mean, it can work like Bell said, but I don't think it doesn't really make his team better.
Well, remember
It's
he
just
didn't
kind of
pick it, so
yeah, I know. But just as the mon like by itself, um, I mean, I would probably rate it as I'd probably a D. I would say.
okay. And then yeah, and then we'll just do the regular. What do you think about the team now? Uh, Snow.
All right. So for Chris' team, his speed control is real bad.
Hmm.
Is it's garbage.
Right off the
Uh,
bat,
I didn't mean
no punches held.
I didn't mean for it to sound so vicious. Uh, when you're looking at his speed control, he's got like Trick Room on Azelf, and he's got Tailwind on Swanna, and using Swanna as your Tailwinder is not really where you want to be every week. He's got a few mons that have Icy Wind, but uh, you know, it's not amazing. Not being able to use both Zoroarks at the same time is really kind of uh gonna limit his team building a lot. Um, he's gonna he's gonna struggle to win games over time just because like his all of his offense is like really frail on one side or the other, or like he does like Mammoth Swan's the only thing that he has that's like kind of bulky and powerful. So he's gonna be leaning a lot on that. Some of the positives though is like Azelf is gonna could possibly overperform, just like it does have decent versatility and it hits like a truck and it can hit and it's fast. So like I do think this team can win some games, but he definitely limited himself in a few little ways.
Yeah. Is that all?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think Chris probably didn't know you can't bring Brosaurus, and I think he really likes him on, but that really makes his team suck. Um, I put very weak to Dragon, but after we went through this, almost every team is just because there's a lack of fairies, so that I wouldn't worry too much about that. But he doesn't have a lot of versatility and coverage. I mean, like you're doing like hyper voice, that what bitter mouse with Zoro, and they're just and like ice spinner, close combat, wave crash with float. So, um, the only mon, two mons I really like are Zelf and more. Really, everything else kind of feels meh. Same thing with the signature mon. It's just too slow to have a forward time weakness. Doesn't really do much. This team is gonna really struggle with Trick Room because he doesn't have like a foolproof way of preventing it. Yeah, and speed control. It's fucking garbage, like Bill said. We love you, Chris.
He won't spend 2 hours trashing you like he did Ethan's last time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't wait. Don't worry, we haven't made it to my slot yet.
you're up, Ethan. What do you think?
Yeah, I might do all my trades during this. Actually, just go ahead and just make my trades. I mean, I love Zora Kasui. So I would rate him positive just for that pick, but he did steal Tinkaton from me, so he gets a D.
A D.
Just because he sniped Tinkaton, that's the only reason. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the speed control mainly. I mean, I don't know much about Swanna being the tailwinder. It looks, I mean,
It's probably
it's
the
not
worst
really the
tailwinder you could possibly
tailwinder.
come
Yeah,
up with.
yeah, it's not really the tailwinder you want to use. And then Zorark Icy Wind. I mean, Zorark's glass cannon, so he's not going to normally live long enough to get too many Icy Winds off. I mean, everything's just kind of mid speed, most of it. So it's gonna Trick Room's not really gonna work either for the most part. So I mean, it's just that's probably the biggest problem with it is just the speed control. Chris, I won't say your speed control is garbage, but that probably is the worst part.
Well, I forgot that too. It just his team lacks utility, big time. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of these mods too. You guys probably know a lot more than me, but like where it's trash, your garbage mons, especially like the D tiers. Like I don't know much about Furret either, but
It
It'll-
does redirect. It's
Yeah.
I mean that mostly is what it's going to do is fall.
Doesn't
I
he
mean
get
it's gonna
belly drum
take
too?
one shot.
I think he gets belly drum too.
Please run belly drum Furret, and then I'll give you an A.
I don't think it gets belly drum
It
anymore.
doesn't.
I think
Okay.
I think that
If it
might.
I
doesn't, it
feel
goes
like
even farther down.
I feel like it should be belly drum Furret every week.
Yeah, I believe it is lost that move over time.
Yeah, and then
I mean,
overall, he does have a good like weakness spread too. So
yeah, he has a good weakness spread. I mean, as much as I hate he sniped it, Tinkaton I feel is going to be really strong for his team too.
yeah, but to be honest too, Tinkaton I think is a trap. It's one of those mons that looks good, but at the same time, sometimes it feels
It
useless.
just doesn't do the damage.
Yeah. All right.
But
We're off to drops. This is number one hated man in the draft. Trade to the Moth Gang. So
I like drops a lot actually.
yeah, he's a traitor. So I'm gonna use that in my assessment of his team. But so drops. Another thing he did too was he pissed me off with this signature mon. So I think it could be A, but I'm gonna rate it as C. And the main reason is because he didn't draft Broxish. I am so upset he did not do that for the memes. What do you think about it, Bess?
As far as the signature mons, so this one was actually like the hardest to grade because, and I ended up just kind of copping out and going for like B minus because I think it's either going to be amazing or terrible every week, and then which is is not the greatest way to be, but he does have Samurai Hosui to proc Steam Engine, so like it's gonna be good.
Yeah, but it hits harder.
Yeah, it is gonna hit a lot harder. But you know, if he could be tearing that mon. Like,
But the beauty of Broxish is you can go like you don't invest anything. You just go bulk and you use your utility moves. Where Samurai's not really a utility guy.
yeah, but the thing is that Samurot's going to be more useful than Bruxish, and like
I agree, but the motherfucker should have picked Broxish.
But I have it as B minus, but I'd probably give it a solid B. Like B is about as high as I'll give any offensive signature mon. Like
Yeah, you
I
value the support.
I value the support signature mons a lot higher.
What do you think, Ethan?
And
On
signature
Colossal?
mod. Yeah, I'm probably rated a B. I like Colossal a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, ever since Sword and Shield, he's definitely a lot harder to use than
he doesn't have his G max
Nat.
move.
Yeah, but I mean, with Terra and everything, I mean, I think it's a pretty good signature mon, honestly, to have, and he built well around it too.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's honestly to me he is a B. I just did the CA thing out of protest because no Bruxish. So team overall, I think has a lot of synergy, a lot with the Sun team. That could be good or bad. It just depends on how well he pilots it. I like the team. Rockslide just smashes this thing, but of course with Terra, if he works around it, it'll be fine. Pretty decently fast. Yeah, I mean he's got Slitherwing, Proto. He's got Pavilion too. I forgot about that with Friend Guard. So, or he could do Sweeper or Sleeper. You know, he could do Compound Eyes. So, I think Drops did pretty well. I think
I'm just
this
gonna
team will do well.
base, I'm just gonna base all of my rankings off the mons I like, and Drops is gonna score high with me with Gengar and Dracloak on it.
By the way,
So
Ethan's
good job,
skipping turn
good
here.
job.
That's fine. He can go.
I didn't realize we had to follow that order. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
didn't
okay.
read the rules.
No, go ahead.
You just
I
lost a
just
grade on your team. That's all.
I just saw Gengar and got really excited. Sorry, Bells. Nah, I mean, I actually love the team, to be honest with you. I mean, it's got really good synergy. I mean, the biggest problem is Rock Slide will destroy it, and you do have Terra, but you can only Terra one, so kind of makes it rough. But I mean, other than that, I mean, you gotta think you're for sure tearing Colossal if you're bringing that, but I mean, you could really do a lot of stuff with it. And the team just has really good synergy if you can get around the rock weakness.
Yeah, I like Victory Belt too because it helps with like the weather wars. So like if there's a Watermon out there, you can use that to handle it. I think that thing gets sleep powder, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Victory Bell.
Well, something changed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get Victory Bell. I believe he gets sleep.
Yeah, so he has two sleepers. So
But that's not really what you want to be using Victory Bell for.
what?
I mean,
Fast sleeper? Why wouldn't he?
Actually, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Okay.
It probably
I
gets
mean,
that and Rage Powder, which I don't know if you do Rage Powder, but
it does not get Rage
it
Powder.
doesn't. Okay.
You just run Gluttony every game.
Yes, I like it. So what do you think, Bess?
So for this, it's kind of the same song and dance for me too. The defensively, this team is lacking stats and weaknesses. Both are pretty rough. So, but some of that's going to be shored up by using Will-O-Wisp with non-tails, or if he wants to do screens and the friend guard. Like some of it is going to get cleared up, but like you can definitely kind of try to overpower it. But offensively, this team will kind of be a menace to deal with. Like it's going to be tough to like decide who he's going to tear up. If it's going to be the Charizard or if it's going to be the Colossal, or bring something else out like the Slitherwing, and like synergistically it works really well. It would all work so well together. Biggest thing I do worry about Trick Room with this team. I mean, he's got like some ways to help stop it, but not a ton, and nothing that's like guaranteed. And then like there's stuff like Gengar, but Gengar's so squishy that's not really who you want to be like holding back Trick Room. But yeah, mostly I just think offensively this is one of the top teams, but like I just worry, can it like survive long enough to make that happen? And it'll take some good play on Drops' part, but he usually plays pretty solid. So
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
yeah.
It's like one of those teams. I think he'll blow him out or he'll be blown out. So
There's a couple of those in this.
yeah. Just comes with being like high bar fences. All right, so Ethan, Bales, what do you think about the signature mod?
Oh, I already said, but I gave it a B.
Ethan,
Ethan said too. Were you
what?
here for that?
No,
Are you fucking
Bells.
high?
Oh,
New team.
oh, yeah, yeah. Uh, Venomoth. To be honest, I think it's definitely in the top 3 favorite. It might be my favorite of the signature mons. Like as a mon that you're bringing every week, it's got some utility, but like just like being fairly fast and having sleep powder and then rage powder. It's just going to be good for him. I mean, it's got a lot of weaknesses, but I don't think that necessarily matters. I think you're just gonna a lot of times just run like focus sash and take 2 hits, and while you set up with something or get your rain going, I
Yeah,
think it's gonna be really good.
not only that, but you got Terra too. So
Yeah, and you got terrors. You can kind of build it a little bulkier.
yeah. Honestly, I think it's my favorite signature mod just because it can do a lot. Um, Ethan, with ours, I forgot to tell you this. With ours, you usually just tell us what you like or whatever, real quick, like a quick snapshot. So just go ahead and tell us what you think about your mon and your team.
No, with my signature.
Either, both. Just do both.
No, I mean my signature bond. I mean, with a lot of these C and D tiers, I wasn't sure what all I could do. But after kind of finding out everything, I was pretty happy that I was able to get something like this as my signature mon. A lot of people didn't have as good of options, so I got pretty lucky with that because it does learn a lot of different support moves I can use. I mean, I can try and build a little bit bulky with Terra, but I'm going to focus Sash on it or something like that. And I think it fits well if I don't go Rain, is one of the biggest things. Um, yeah, I mean, it fits well with Rain too, but if I can get Tailwind up on it and kind of outspeed, I can go that route. Just has a lot of different supporting things. And my first, my first choice was Basque Legion, and I was actually super happy about that as soon as I saw the chart, and I knew I wanted that, and then
Yeah.
I just kind of tried to build around that with my team.
Ghost fish with a penis.
Goes fish with the penis, yeah,
That should
and
have been his
yeah, obviously my first choice. Um, I just tried to build around the rain, and then once I kind of got a little deeper in the draft, I tried to kind of work around it and talk to a few people. I was definitely weak to Trick Room, so my last few choices had to be something along those lines to kind of help me work around that if I could.
Bales, what do you think?
Trick Room is a problem with this team.
Mm-hmm.
It will require some ingenuity to overcome. And I didn't even talk about Venomoth. Venomoth, or I did talk about it.
You
Yeah.
did. Dude, you need to quit
Okay.
smoking.
I know. I haven't even smoked anything. It's crazy. Uh, the usage of Venomoth will likely decide how your season goes. Your offense is not very versatile. A lot of your mons are like Moltres and Jolteon and Rotomo have like 2 or 3 good coverage moves, and that's it. So, and then your Moltres is kind of hampered by the fact that it's in rain, which it is a fine. As far as fire mons, it's a fine fire mon to use in rain, but it's still it's always kind of like
It's gonna be hard to position it.
it's always weird positioning and built and even getting a fire mon whenever you're a pretty heavily dedicated rain team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the team. I just think it'd be a little difficult to piloted, I guess. Just because there's some weird synergies, I guess. Well, lack of, but I like it. I like your team. I don't.
You say it one more. You say it one more time.
Let me. I was about to rephrase it. I like
No,
most of your team. The last three bottom picks, which I understand what you were trying to go for, but I don't like them. I don't like Earthring, Palisand, or Copper Raja. I think Copper is a little bit of a trap. But for the most part, I think you'll be fine.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot negative to say about this team.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not giving Brad. Let's go and move on. I'm not giving him a chance to change his mind.
So then we got Jacob. So some of these team names we just filled in for ourselves. We went with speed, violence, momentum for Jacob. This is a very Jacob team, and he got a very Jacob signature mod. So yeah, I rated it as a B. Fast offense is what Jacob likes. I think it'll be okay. It has some coverage, and he did go rain. So, what do you think, Bess?
I gave it a C, mostly because it is kind of limiting whenever you have Barraskewda, because I've used them on in draft. It has good like offensive versatility. It's got some moves you can swap around and stuff, but it can't help your team like defensively at all. It only really hurts you. I mean,
Yeah.
which isn't always the worst, but like when you're forced to bring them on every time, that's when I kind of like see that more as a hindrance, and that's why you'll see a lot of my offensives are like B's or C's, and then I get like a mon that's like not gonna a lot of games not gonna have the same kind of impact, but there's not gonna be a lot of games where it's just useless, and I'll give it like a B plus. That's like really the big difference.
I will say this about Barraskewda, though. Even though it seems like it pigeonholes you into going rain, you don't necessarily have to. It is super fast, anyways. So
Yeah, but his
I do
team,
agree
like,
with you. I'm just saying he doesn't necessarily have to bring rain.
yeah, his team going out of rain is still good, and don't get me wrong, but like his best attackers are all just like very frail, kind of
Yeah.
fast guys. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just like another mon that does the same thing as Meowscarada and Cinderace.
Yeah. What do you think, Ethan, on Barraskewda?
I mean, on Barraskewda, I think I would probably rate it a little bit a B or a B plus. I kind of like the Barraskewda pick, um, especially in the draft that we're doing with garbage mons. I think Barraskewda can really shine. I mean, it does kind of lock you in, but at the same, I mean, it's not a bad mon to be locked into a lot of games. I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna rate it a B plus.
Okay. What do you think about the team?
The team overall, I'm going to give a F because he sniped me twice. But I really wanted the Polytoad. I thought I didn't realize I didn't look and realize Jacob was going rain too, or I probably would have picked it a little bit earlier. But I wasn't too worried about it because there's still options to get rain. But I really wanted the Polytoad, and kind of like what you said, Brett, with the Gotharita. That's kind of the game plan I wanted to go originally. um, was get grab Polytoad and Gotharita, and Jacob just screwed me on that. So because of that, I'm gonna have to rate that a real low score. But overall, honestly, I actually really like the team. I think he can, if he can pilot it well, he'll do all right.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got one of the best dragons in the league. He has, in my opinion, another trap in Florgus. I don't like it. I know Bells does, but I don't like Florgus. And I was hoping he'd go Perish Song, but yeah, I think it's a good team. Just it was struggle, like I said, with screen or stall teams or what I wrote. What do you think, Bells?
Uh, this is definitely a stereotypical Jacob team. It's gonna win or lose quickly. One or the other. The games are gonna be pretty quick. It's gonna rely a lot on him making good predictions, like on swaps and stuff, because he has 4 Mons that can like take a hit, and realistically, you don't really want Magnezone taking a ton of hits, but so like otherwise, like a lot of his, like I said, a lot of his sweepers are super frail, fast. It's also probably going to struggle a little bit against Trick Room, and but he does like we haven't talked about this a lot just because most teams don't have very many cores. He easily has the best Firewater Grass core.
Yeah, it could have been better if he would have went Greninja, which I think he could have, but it would have just been memeing.
I mean, yeah, but
I just wanted 3 Protean Mons.
He wanted to do that.
I know
he wanted to at one point, but like Greninja and Barrascudo on the same team sounds like a little much.
Yeah, exactly.
But this offense is going to be tough. But if you can withstand like his offense output early, it's going to be tough for him to like make a long game work.
I think you're right in your poor spelling and predicting to predict his throw sweepers. He will have to make good predicting. So, yeah, I think if he makes the right calls, he'll be fine. All right.
Again, I'm just gonna give it a D because he stole Volley Toad, but move on.
That's fair. So
we're
now
we're gonna put the team rankings at the end, Ethan.
Now we got yeah, you would do that then, Ethan. We got confused. Where's the duck? I think signature wise, he's got a really good one. It's does a little bit of everything. Plus, he picked up the NDD, so it's Drifloon. Drifloon could be pretty annoying. What do you think, Bills or Ethan, whoever wants to go?
Drifloon, it's one of the top 3 signature mons. He can run pretty much anything he wants with it. There's a lot of different options. It can even kind of do some offensive stuff. Like it's going to be good for his team, and it pairs really well with like the Toxtricity. This mon is going to like help him throughout the season really well.
What do you think, Ethan?
I'm an easy man to please. You pick a Ghost Mon. You get a high score, so I'm giving an S+ for Ghost.
Okay.
No, and I actually really love Drifloon. He can be used in a lot of different ways. So I really think it's a really good signature mon.
Okay. So team, this was like the hardest one for me to rate. There's a lot I like. There's a lot that I think feels weird. Like the physical attackers, I'm not a big fan of. You got Snorlax, Berserker, and who's the other one? Phalanx. Snorlax is the only one I like in it, but it's a Trick Room mon. You got like a really like the rest of your team is all for Tailwind. I don't know. It feels weird. I'm sure you have a plan. I just don't know what the hell it is. You have me confused. That's for sure. But I do like part of the team. You're gonna be the hardest person for me to prep because I have no idea what the hell you're bringing.
So. And realistically, I think that's what he was aiming for. I the only negative thing I have about this draft is I wish like Berserker or Phalanx was a different physical attacker that was in that like 80 to 90 speed, just because under Tailwind, they're not outspeeding a lot. So if that was the case, this would be like probably my favorite team in the draft. Even still, it's really close because his support mons are out of this world good. Like Toadskrull, Driftbloom, Uxie are all really good. I like, and Snorlax is going to be good in this lower. power level, and then Northern's always solid, and then he's got like a really big threat with Typhlosion. Just Scarf Eruption's just gonna kill people.
Well, what I think I was kind of getting at is so, like, say you said Trick Room, right?
Yeah.
And the opponent takes care of your Trick Room threat, say, like Snorlax.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably not going to have another Trick Room threat in the back. So then you got to, like, stall out your own Trick Room in your weird position. Same thing with Tailwind. I don't know. It's going to be hard to pilot. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I get that, but Confuse is a really good player. He get like this is it looks like a team that like a high skilled player would build because there's a lot of things that are gonna like it's not gonna be an easy team to pilot, but
Yeah.
like I'm kind of like putting like I know he's very good
This is
about
Team Bales, not the player.
Would you say when you go against him, you're confused?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to add that one in there.
I
I
already
like the
said it,
team a lot.
Mr. Color Commentator.
I like the team a lot. I mean, he's not. It's definitely not hyper offensive like some of the ones we covered before, but it's just overall pretty solid team. Um, I really like just thinking Driftbloom, Toxicity lead with Boom Burst, Tailwind. I really like that lead. Um, I mean, there's just a lot that he can do with the team overall.
The coolest
So, I
sleep by
mean,
far is Wheeling Toad Squirrel.
there's just
Or Wheezing. I
yeah,
said Wheeling. Wheezing.
willing. um, he just, I mean, he has a lot that he can lead, and I kind of see
Yeah.
what you're saying with it's going to be hard to tell what he's even going to bring each week.
Yeah, I think the leads will be great. It's like you're in an awkward position. Like, what do I have in the back for my leads? That's what's awkward.
I mean, realistically, I don't think like the Snorlax. Like, I don't think he's gonna run Trick Room that often. Like, I think the Snorlax is kind of his anti Trick Rooms
Yeah, that's
stuff,
probably
and
true.
they probably just picked up Berserker as the like a Steelmon. So like, I think realistically, he's just like a well balanced Tailwind team that can do some Trick Room stuff. Because like Toxicity is pretty if you just like go negative, it's fine in Trick Room.
Listen, I'm by no means am I saying it's a bad team. I just said it just feels weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
The
I
only
get it.
the only thing is bad about it is no fast physical attackers. Really,
Hmm.
it's got and honestly probably has the best overall average, like highest stats.
Oh yeah, his stat line's crazy good.
All right, we'll move on. I'm not. So Moth Gang. Um, I I know everybody. Well, Bales or Snowman and Seph really like Rabumbi, and I do like it better than I'd say about half the Mons that were signature Mons. But I just hate the Mons, so I'm putting it as a B for me, really. But basically, in my opinion, it's gonna be Focus Sash, Tailwind, maybe get a Moonblast off every once in a while. Try to get weird and do a Quiver Dance. It's pretty boring, Mon. But
Uh,
go ahead.
I mean, like I get why you don't love it, but it does have a lot of options, and you can do some interesting stuff with like Switch Brew and fake tears and Tailwind in prison. Like there's a lot of interesting things you can do with this mon, and that's why I hit it with an A. It's 124 speed with Tailwind. Like that right there is enough for an A in like a draft where you're having to bring this mon every week, in my opinion. It also gets screens. Yeah, it gets screens. It's got some stun spore, stuff like that. Like there's just a lot of little things you can do with it. So like that's why I hit it with the A.
Yeah, it's just
what was
boring to
your
me.
Yeah.
What was your idea when you were building the team?
Well, I got a fairy, so then I was like, okay, I'm getting Dragon Steel next.
He just built a balanced team, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you got to go on the signature mod?
I mean, I like it. I mean, like Bell said, I didn't realize it was 1 point faster than Weavern. I mean, it's excellent tailwinder. I mean, I'm see. I mean, I'll probably give
Don't
it
start talking
A
about the team.
plus.
A plus.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know. I'll probably give it an A plus. I mean, it's just overall it can do a lot.
Okay. So the team, I'm gonna say as little as I can because it's got some spice that I don't want to let out. Bales knows what it is, so he better shut his fucking mouth and not say it out loud. But yeah, I mean, I like it. It just went balanced, can do a little bit of everything. And the moth with 140 special is it's got to be one of the highest special stats in this league. So it'll be fun to use. Plus, it's fast. Moth gang.
All right. So offensively, this team is really balanced. Like, you got a lot of at least a lot of coverage on everything. Except I don't think Taurus Paldea has a ton.
He
And
does.
Reggie Drago.
He's got pretty good.
I know Reggie Drago doesn't. But
Yeah,
it
but
does one or
listen,
two things.
Reggie Drago's got what he needs. I'm not gonna say anymore.
But I think Reggie Drago is gonna like kind of shine in this kind of format. My biggest concern with your team is definitely just going to be like defensively. You're going to have to be using your intimidates and stuff correctly because realistically, like you have Corviknight and Bronzong to soak up multiple hits, and then everything else is kind of on the frailer side. You know, some mons like Iron Moth can take a couple special hits, but it's more frail than I would like to see. But like, and then your two like big walls shared typing, like that.
I'm never bringing him the same.
Yeah, you're probably never gonna bring him the same time, but like it kind of puts it on easy mode for some people. You know,
My thought on that though is this: the firepower isn't as high as it normally is.
That very well may be true, and I know Corviknight. I've used Corviknight a
It's a
lot.
monster.
That mon can tank some hits,
Yeah.
so it might be like not a big deal at all.
But I do
Like,
agree. I have to be good with Terras, which is what I suck at the best or at the most. And just like you said, I can't. I got to make good switches and stuff.
But overall, it's a really good offensive team. Defense is okay. It's good enough, I think, but it's not like
It's just
outstanding.
balance.
It's a good balanced team. You know.
You're a dickhead.
I like the team. I mean, teams like this are some of the hardest to prepare for. It's really the same as the confused team in terms of balance. You don't really know. There's no set game plan like mine, like with Strong Rain and Jacobs, something like that. Or Sun Team. It's just a balanced team overall. It makes it a little bit harder to prepare for and what you're going to bring. So I mean, as long as if you can pilot that well, I think you'll be fine. I think you're just overall strong with attack and defense. Nothing out of the blue, or nothing too crazy. And I really love Iron Moth, just as a mon in general. So
I thought you were gonna say Miss Magius because it's Ghost.
yeah, I mean you get high marks for that, but I actually love Iron Moth as a mon. I think overall
it's cool.
I love
really like
I love Reggie Drago too. I mean overall you just got a really good balanced team.
Yeah.
I will say Iron Moth was one of those mons that was like kind of on the edge of the chopping block when we were like trying to.
Thank God you didn't chop it, Moth Gang.
We wanted, yeah, like it was definitely one of the higher ones on my list.
Yeah, it's really strong for this league.
I think I picked it just because, like I said, it's hard to. I think honestly, everybody's lacking in firepower and bulkiness. Typings are low too. All right, so Chad, we named his team "Who's a Big Boy." Um, he has the bulk. Um, so whichever one wants to talk about his signature mon, go ahead.
I gave Glade a B. It can definitely overperform that, but I think B is pretty solid. It kind of can only do offensive stuff. It does have a lot of like it does have a lot of utility moves, but it's kind of going to be kind of hard to slot that onto the Glade. I have used it in other draft leagues before, and it always just like feels underpowered if you're not using it as like a sweeper.
Yeah.
But it may overperform, being this is a lower power draft. We'll see, but I'm gonna give it a B.
What do you think, Ethan? Or Trikster?
Um, yeah, I mean it's too late now with the names. I'd give it an A minus. I love the Mon. I mean it can. There's just a lot that it can do. I mean it's no ghost type, but so it doesn't get the S, but it can do a lot. I mean it's not a fast tailwinder like Rabombi or something like that, but just the moves that it can get, I think it can really outperform and surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I I think that's probably why Chad went like more utility and bulky mons, I guess, because he already got a good attacker. I think the coverage on this is pretty wide too. Like it has a move that hit
It
anything
does.
super effective.
Yeah, it has very wide coverage.
Um, I like the team. It's a little slow for me. Um, and there's no like uber special attacker on the team like Rotom or Clefable and Polion. They don't. They're not really like special sweepers, I guess, because they're so slow. But I mean, he could do Trick Room stuff like that. So
I think the Rotom Heat is going to be a big play on his team. I think Rotom Heat's a strong mon normally anyway, and then in this
I
draft
agree. It's
league,
strong. It just coverage kind of sucks. You do Shadow Ball, Overheat, Lightning Move, Will
Yeah.
O Wisp. And the only reason I say that is because I've used it a couple drafts, and I always like, man, I wish it just had more coverage.
yeah, but with I mean a lot of that you got to think can be it's going to be different every game, but can be made up with Terra,
Yeah, I just
Nasty Plot, Terra Blast, something
I
like that.
I think one thing I always do though is I don't like being put in the position of I have to use it offensively because I
Yeah,
think defensively it swings the
it's a heck of a defensive mon. I mean I think it's
no
really
the Terra. Like
oh
when you tear offensively, you better get a one shot. If not, it's not really worth. Whereas if you do it defensively, it can really change a game.
it just depends on the team you're going against.
Yeah. I did not name this team, Levi. This was your boy Bales. So,
Oh, you didn't
um,
even let me talk about Chad's team.
oh,
Jeez.
never mind. We're going back. Spoiler.
uh, he's pretty uh, for Chad's. I said he's pretty average as far as speed. He's going to rely a lot on his speed control, and it's like okay, not amazing. Um, Clefable is really going to be the deciding factor in how well he can use that mon on how many games he wins. Like
I think he's got the best
defensively,
fairy.
yeah, he's got probably the best fairy. I can't remember if there was anything in S that was way better. But like defensively, this is probably the best team in the league. But I don't know if his offense can keep up. It's going to have to be something we're going to have to see game to game basis if his offense can keep up with his defense because his defense is outstanding.
Yeah.
Now you can go on.
Okay. And like I said, Bales named his team. So we got Seph. I feel like I've seen him play this team 12 times. What do you think about the signature mon? Bramble gas.
I do not like Bramble Gas as a signature mon. Like, I think the mon is fine until you look at its moveset and you're like, I have to bring this 8 times and try to make it work 8 times, you know, or at least make sense to where like I don't feel like that I'm completely wasting this spot. Like it does have some moves, even with this freaking S plus because it's a ghost.
Yeah.
It does have some moves, and both of its abilities are pretty solid. But I don't know, like when you're looking at what is this like going to add to my team? A few offensive attacks, and I mean it does get Poltergeist now, but
Yeah. I
like offensively, it's a fine mon. It's just I don't think it's going to be adding enough to the
see.
team to like.
That's where
to
you're
make-
sleeping. Defensively, Wind Rider. It blocks like 15 different moves, Bells.
I don't know.
And most importantly, it blocks Heat Wave.
Yeah,
You're just sleeping on it. That's all.
I mean, I get that.
I hope Mr. Ever played this team 12 times sweeps you with Bramble Gas to show you
He
the power of the
could,
Ghost Grass.
'cause
Just
if it's
8 kills with Bramble Gas.
You know what? I hope Bells actually tries to Heat Wave into him too.
it very well could happen.
I mean, playing on the ladder before you realize how much it blocks. I got crushed like 5 games in a row against Bramble Gas
Yeah.
because I was just like, okay, surely this move works, and then I was just like, oh, okay, well, let's try the next one.
Yeah, that's when
It's
everybody's using Heat Train.
yeah, it's definitely an S plus mon. I mean, look at it.
It's a tumbleweed. Look at it.
Yeah, look at it.
It's
Look at
somewhere
its glowing,
between B and C for sure.
look at its glowing red eyes. No, I love Bramble Gas. I probably shouldn't be rating off mods that I like, but I really do. I really do think that it can surprise people.
Yeah.
Because if you get Tailwind or something up with Wind Rider, and if
Our 15 tag
I mean,
becomes
yeah, I mean just
160,
1
170.
and you'd be surprised how quick it is to make a little mistake. Use a wind move and then just toss Bramble Gas in. I mean, it can make a huge deal. I think it can really, really catch people off guard.
Yeah, it's by far not the best, but Levi will have to get creative, but I like it.
S plus.
S plus for Ethan.
As far as the team, like I said, Bramble Gas is one of my least favorite. It's still probably number 6 or 7. There's a lot of not super mediocre, but like that I didn't rank very highly. His supports aren't amazing. Like Gardevoir gets several support moves, and Vaporeon's always got some, but and then I guess Chimeko has about every support move you can think of, but it's Chimeko.
Well, you're forgetting Rotom and Gardevoir. Those both have a lot of support.
Yeah, I still wouldn't rank them very high. And like whenever there's like actual dedicated support mons. Don't get me wrong, his team's still really good. It's Levi, he's going to play it well. It's a good balanced team. And Iron Jugulus is another one of those mons that we had kind of on the brink of like, should we keep this? Should we not? It's going to be really good for him. And he did snipe the Infernape from me, so there's that.
To be honest, I think he has the best Tailwinder to pair with Bramble Gas. I think those two are going to be really annoying to deal with. Plus, he sniped you, and Cosmic Power Chimeka. I want to see that work. I really do. And yeah, it's a balanced team. I think Levi will play it pretty well. The only one that sucks is Gumshoe, but I'm sure he's got a plan for it.
I know that I've seen him draft Gumshoes like 3 or 4 times to try to make it work.
Yeah. Well, he might this time. He's got he's attackers and like there's just a lot of versatility. He's got coverage. It, I think his team is a lot like my team on how you're gonna have to play it. But with his team, I think people are gonna underestimate a lot of the mons. So he'll have like a nice surprise attack kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I
And
like.
Garganicle's gonna just destroy somebody at some point. That mon's really good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, I just like the Mons. Iron Jugulus is a really good pick, especially with Bramble. And for Night, I'm excited to see it do well. Uh, and then Garganagle and Gastrodon on the slower end are probably two of the couple really strong slow Mons. um, me and Jacob both really hate seeing the Gastrodon, so
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, that sucker is
Well,
definitely coming against us.
he
So
can double up. He's got Vaporon too.
yeah, that's true. So I think he built this team around me and Jacob.
I don't think so.
Um,
I don't think so.
from the looks of it. So, but yeah, I just really I like the team overall. Just a good balanced team, and a lot of those bonds can really surprise someone. And Bramble Gas is S plus. So
Yeah. Actually, with Bramble Gas and yeah, you guys are gonna have a hard time rain teams,
If I do think about Jugulus beside Bramblegas, it probably does go up to a B. I didn't really consider that as
but
much as
this
I probably should have.
yeah, typing and synergy and oh man,
thanks, Lima.
it's plus
You know,
one
I'll
special
take
one's
no, not an S plus. I'll take the L and I'll give it a B plus. There you
yeah,
go.
it's pretty good.
I still think it like does add a lot of restrictions to his team, but
Yeah, I agree with
because
that.
I mean, also that means you're taking a turn off with your Iron Jugulus to set Tailwind.
Well, there's the beauty in that. You might think he's doing that, and then he just blows your shit out of the
True.
water with
That's
Jugulus.
very true. But
Yeah,
it's definitely like it's this team also kind of looks pretty difficult to pilot correctly, which
maybe
Seph
I can do.
Well, that's what
Seph
balance is,
Yeah.
right? You just
yeah,
gotta.
he typically likes to play styles like that. So this team
I just
like will overperform of what I end up ranking it, and I'm 100% sure about that.
I just want Bramble Gas to 8-0 Bills. That's all I care about this season.
All right, Dolan. This guy here, we don't know if he's Moth Gang or what, but Signature Mon, I don't like Dash Bomb, but um, I think it works with the way he ended up building the team, and that's with what's that ability of it is with like
Well, make body.
yeah, and since he went ice, so weather, that's pretty good for that. So
Yeah. I gave Dashman a C plus. The Mon's okay. It's not gonna like wow you, but it'll probably do something and be like, oh, okay, it was okay every week. It's got a lot of different like a decent coverage, but realistically, you're gonna try to be using it as a support more often than not, and it'll do. I don't know any other ways to say it'll be fine.
yeah,
Go ahead, Ethan.
I want to give him a B because he looks like a good boy, but I'm gonna have to stick with the C plus. I think I think it can really throw some players for a loop, probably myself included. But I think it goes back to the problem Bell's had with Bramble Gas. I think it can kind of limit him some games. Um, I mean, I might not know enough about him, but I know with his ability and iron defense, I know that route. So he might surprise me with some moves on him. I'll have to kind of do some research on him, but overall, I think I think he can really show up some games, but then also limit him a lot of other games.
Yeah. Team wise, Rockside destroys this team as well. I think resistance wise and stat wise, he really needs to work around Aurora Veil. Like it's a must. Plus, he does have some options out of Trick Room with like the Titan and stuff. But this team's gonna need. You're just gonna have to pilot it well. It could do well, I think. Just lacks special, in my opinion. Um, but I don't dislike it.
Yeah, the biggest thing is it does not attack well from the special side. Like you've got Typhlosion Hisui, which does pair pretty well with Oranguru. You could do the eruption, instruct kind of stuff, which that's good. But like when your next best special attacker is going to be like Mask Rain, it has the highest stats. I'm sure his attack aren't very good. I don't really
Yeah.
know what Mask Rain's going to do for you. That's not a great sign. Defensively, he does have a lot of weaknesses, but he can kind of shore that up with Aurora Veil and stuff like that. And then he has the Titan, who's going to be kind of a menace in this.
That'll be fun.
He has like good coverage versatility, and he's got a lot of things he can kind of do. You know, so it's gonna and Dolan's always kind of tough to prep for, anyways. Um, the the biggest the biggest issue is definitely just like that special attacks just kind of lacking. But Typhlosion, I mean, that's a good mon, so maybe he can just make it work.
Yeah, what's its special move again? The signature move?
Infernal
It
Parade.
does more damage if they're
Status,
burned
right?
or status. Yeah.
Okay.
And
What do you
doesn't
think?
it have like a high chance to burn or something?
Yeah, I think it does put a status. What do you think, Ethan?
Um, sorry, the whole thing was loading up. I actually really like Dolan's team. The more I look at it, I mean, you have the Abomasnow to Titan combination. You have a Trick Room combination. You have two Mons that can soak up fire for the ice types. I mean, you have Electrode, which is probably the fastest in the league, I would say.
Yeah, it's probably up
Yeah.
there.
I mean, he just has a lot of different options that he can go for, and I know Dolan's a good player, so it just kind of leaves him open. I think the team overall is just strong. I mean, just like you guys said, the special attack stats, probably the worst thing about it. If he goes up against someone that's
Like Levi. Levi.
yeah,
Well, no, not
someone
Levi. I
that's
was thinking Spadaf. Levi has a lot of special attack.
yeah, if he goes up against someone with a high defense stat, I mean that might put him in a bind. But
Yeah, he might have
I
trouble
mean,
with Big Boy.
but just
Yeah.
overall, I mean, his two things I see is a special attack and his type chart's a little weaker than some of the others, but with just the immunities that he has and the different options that he has, and knowing Dolan is a player in general, I don't think he's gonna. I think he'll be fine. I think his team's strong.
Okay. Kid, Will of the Wheel. So, um, go ahead with the signature mom best or Ethan.
I gave Inteleon a C. Uh, and I really wanted to go lower, but it is at least fast. It can attack from some different angles, and it does get like icy wind if you need to do some support and stuff like that. So it'll be good, but it won't be great.
Yeah.
It is kind of limiting. Um, yeah, it's C. It was solid C.
I said the same thing for same reasons. And actually, no, I think like the rest of his team is basically the same for attackers. But what do you think, Ethan?
I love Inteleon as a mon, and I think it's one of those things. It's just it doesn't have a huge coverage, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the main. I would rank it a lot higher just because of its speed and special attack. If it had more coverage moves, but I mean you can get around that a little bit. But um, I just love it as a mon, but just with those reasons, I'm gonna rank it as C plus, C plus or B minus for me because it can surprise some people because it can do a lot of damage. I love it its signature move, but just its lacking of coverage
Yeah.
is a concern.
The biggest offense this team has is no fake out. And with the way his team is, I think he needs it. And correct me if I'm wrong, almost every one of his sweepers is like Inteleon. I mean, there's not a lot of coverage moves.
Not a ton. I think Star Raptor gets a few extra moves, but I
Yeah.
think for the most part, they have their stabs, and then they'll have like one or two like usable moves. It is a bit constricting on his team.
Yeah, Pachirisu doesn't get fake out, right?
Don't think so. It gets follow me, nuzzle,
Yeah, so
some stuff like that.
I don't. There's a lot of good mons. I don't know. This is probably one of the lower teams for me. But if Kid drafted the way he said he did, it makes sense. He did. That's the reason for the name of the team, Will of the Whale. From what he said, I assume he did like how we did our signature mons, where you it random 3 mods and you pick one. So
That would kind of make sense.
yeah, and if he did do that, this actually isn't a bad team considering.
Just tell me how All is faster than Star Raptor.
That's always been something.
It's a snowflake. It's light.
It's like 6 foot tall.
It's a
Just
light
like-
snowflake, light on its feet. Muhammad Ali.
It's not light. That thing's 326 pounds. You tell me how that sucker is faster than Star Raptor.
Magnetism. I don't know. What do you think about the team besides Kragan?
That threw me for a loop there. I mean, probably on Brett's side of things. It's just overall, there's not much synergy. If you made it like you say he did, that does make sense. Just like Brett said, he does have a ghost type, so good for him. He nailed that one in there. He got 2 actually, but he needs to live and die by Tornadus, I think, or Lycanroc. Lycanroc is one of those mons that can really surprise with damage. It surprised me, and I had it on my team during singles. It can hit like a truck, but Tornadus is the difference maker with this team, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. Tornadus is definitely going to be like the make or break part of his team. Like a lot of his mons do kind of lack the versatility that you'd like from some draft mons, but they are all like good in their own right. Like I think Arboliva is probably the only mon I'm like,
It's fucking atrocious. I hate that mon.
But everything else, like they're good mons. Will they be able to will Kid be able to mesh them together to like have a good season? I think so. Kid's pretty good, and I think Tornadus is gonna be too good for this league. I really think that mon's really good.
Build it
Overall,
differently.
it's just like he has good speed tiers, and he has really good speed control with Slowbro, Gerlar, and Tornadus. Like, so he can kind of do one or the other. I mean, his team's not the slowest, but if he comes up against somebody that's just like way faster, he can definitely like do some sneak trick room stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fun team. It definitely has some weaknesses.
I think it's just because how he did it.
Yeah. If he really like wield it, I don't know that he could ask for much better from
It
all
turned out better
around.
than mine would have. I'll tell you that. Then we got Bales. So Bales, just do overall kind of what you think real quick.
Okay. I got Persian Alola as my signature mon. I think that mon's great. It's one of the best in signature mons. It has so much versatility. It can do so much for me. It like won't even feel bad to bring it every week. As far as my team, I'm gonna have fun whether I'll win or lose with this team. There's a lot of different things I can do, and I don't really want to go too much into any of that. So
Okay. Good,
my
Ethan.
my cores suck. I don't know if
Your
that's
core,
either.
yeah. Everybody's cores suck.
Yeah.
You should have drafted the ghost for your signature. I'll give it an S. I mean, it can do so many different things. It's definitely is for real one of the better signature mods out there.
What about the team?
The team in general.
Yeah.
I mean, like Bells likes to play. There's just a lot of fun, different things that you can do.
Yeah.
And I agree that Wheezing Slacking is going to be
A monster.
really strong. Yeah, it's going to be really strong. You're going to have to figure a way to
Yeah,
stop that.
The 160 attack stat is just going to destroy everything. Plus, I didn't realize the coverage on it. It's got literally every.
It gets a
move.
lot. Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most obvious thing on Bale's team, but he's got a lot of fun. Honestly, I wish I would have drafted more like you because it's a good team, but at the same time, you can literally have a different strat for your every week. So
yeah,
I'm excited to just see some of the strats.
Yeah, it'll be good content.
I like playing that way too, but I don't know as much in the different strats. So I'm excited to kind of see what Bills brings out. I mean, you got a good tailender. You got
don't ruin it. Don't be giving none of the spice.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people know Kilowattrel gets tailwind.
Oh, that's fine. I thought you were going to go into other stuff,
So
but
you just leaked it. So don't tell him about the thing.
There's like 3 or 4 strats he's got that are going to be they're not going to see it coming.
I wasn't leaking anything. I like you have a fast tailwinder.
Can't believe you ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to leak that one, guys. Kilowattrel does get tailwind. I mean, Persian Alolan is just great. I actually love that as a signature mon. And then I'm just excited to see a lot of the different strats that you have, like the tailwind Kilowattrel.
Yeah. Bales is going to lose some games this season, and it's because he's going to meme too much. That's what's going to happen. That's going to be the worst thing about this team. He's going to meme too much.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. All right.
Meme drain.
Yep. Last but not least, Moth Gang. I guess this is the president of the Moth Gang. Electric. Signature Mon. I love Frostmoth. Not because it's good or anything. I just like the what would you call that? Like the design or whatever. I just like how it looks. But I gave it a B. It can do a couple of different things. What do you guys think?
Originally I gave Frostmoth a B as well, but like just kind of like comparing it to some of the other signatures, I would bump it up to A, just because it does have a decent amount of utility stuff. It can do some offensive stuff pretty decently if you feel like Terran, and it can be kind of bulky with ice scales, which the last thing Electric probably needs is more bulk. But yeah, I'd give it an A. I would be happy to have that mon as my signature.
What do you think about Frostmoth, Ethan?
I'm probably gonna give it an A minus. I think it can definitely be strong. Moth Gang, yeet, but um, it's a good supportive mon overall. So I'd give it an A minus.
Okay. I disagree with Bales on this a little bit. I think this team screams "fuck you." I'm Trick Room, no matter what. I think it's gonna be hard to stop Trick Room with this. Um, Pretty solid team. It's definitely different. It's I don't know. It's got a lot going on. It's mostly Trick Room though, so I think she'll do fine.
Yeah,
It is
like
slow as balls.
when I say like its speed tiers are terrible, it's just like there's not something fast to clean up if like Trick Room goes down or
Yeah.
like anything like that. Like for a Trick Room team, this is perfect, but like it's draft, you have a week to prep for Trick Room, and with this team, you're either Trick Rooming or tailwinding with Frostmoth. And even if you're tailwinding
Yeah.
Spiritomb, it's not outspeeding much.
There's
Like
there's really not a tailwind option.
yeah. I mean, Skull Villain and Poltergeist and
Yeah.
technically Klefki will like outspeed some stuff, but like
By the way, Scovillian does get Rage Powder.
it does
Yeah.
get Rage Powder. The Mons they're interesting. People aren't really gonna know how to deal with a lot of these Mons because
They're not used often.
they're not a lot of heavily used Mons. Like I think and Klefki getting up screens for this team is gonna make it a terror to break this team.
Yeah.
But
But
it definitely has.
Good.
It definitely got a pretty glaring weakness of like if you can stop Trick Room, it's going to be tough for this team to win. But the question is, can you stop the Trick Room on this team? And I'm not. I mean, with Spiritomb and Slow King, they're both fairly difficult to keep from
Trick Rooming, yeah.
Trick Rooming unless you're like
In prison.
going all in. And in prison, a lot of the imprisoned mons that are left are kind of squishy, so like it's not always the best way.
Just be ready. Just be ready for the Tailwind Choice Scarf Spiritomb.
Gets swept by that. Fails his 8-0 by that and Bramble Gas.
I mean, it's very well that I might just be memeing super hard and get 8-0 by something silly like that. That could very well happen.
What do you think, Ethan?
I like the team overall. In terms of Trick Room wise, if you're not getting Trick Room up there, just like Bill said, it's going to struggle. But if he can get Trick Room up, I mean, he can get a few early kills. I think he can survive, but that's going to be the biggest problem with the team.
Okay. And that's it. So we'll last slide here. I'm gonna have to come out of it, but just rank it with a letter tier, and if they want to watch this long, they can see what we rated their team as.
If they're still here.
Yeah, if they're still here. This is still cut in half by last time. Last time we were like 2.5.
Last time you had like 2 hours of shitting on Ethan.
No, Mr. Long-Winded, you were get the fuck out of here.
If I recall, I was drinking that night. So. I probably was long-winded.
And listen, I don't think there is I mean, they're all bad, not bad, but they're all lesser teams because it's trash tier. But I don't think anybody really had a bad team.
How are you gonna spell my name right at the top and then get it wrong in all the?
I really don't care. That's why. I don't love you, Ethan.
Not true.
Just hitting him like that.
Bales is gonna get my ass. I'm only doing one ass. Chaz is the bulky team, right?
Yeah, Chad's bulky.
All right, we'll do a beefer bulky. Drops was the Sun team, right?
Yes.
Those are mine.
As you guys are way faster at this.
I had pretty much an idea on everybody except there's a couple that I'm trying to figure.
Actually, I'm going to add some minuses and pluses.
That way you can kind of rank them.
The way I'm ranking it is just like how much would I want to play that or use that team, right? So that's what I'm going off of. And Chris, don't feel bad. The reason you're getting D's because you doubled down on Zoroark. So you got. There is a one rule. You have to give one person an S. So
I gave mine to Confused. I like Confused team a lot.
Yeah, I know. So I was meaning Ethan probably shouldn't change one of his A's. Either he gives himself an S.
I'm going through it real quick.
Ethan's the only person I can't decide what else.
What?
Ethan, you can rock a B+ with me. Yeah. You get a B.
What, to Ethan?
Yeah, I don't really like Copper Object.
Actually, I might give him a C because the motherfucker gave himself an A. I don't. I'm just joking.
It out.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah. Let's see. So our differences are. These are close. A little bit of difference on Jacob.
It's pretty polarizing.
Yeah. What?
His team is
Jacob?
polarizing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, and
So-
it makes sense that we'd all three have pretty different because, like
Yeah.
for that team, that is not my play style at all.
No.
Like, so like it makes sense that I'm like, see. But
Yeah.
if you play that style, it is probably a bit higher.
Yeah. So
Confused is pretty similar, just
yeah,
not as
same thing.
not
Just like what we like.
Yeah.
Chad, it's a little bit different.
But if you look at Jacob and Chad, because their teams are pretty much opposite.
Yeah, it's same thing.
Switches.
We're a little off on Levi.
Yeah.
But then again, I like how Levi plays, so maybe that's like I like balance.
I like how he plays too. Just like.
Well, I mean, like the style. Like I like balance. He likes balance.
Like I think it's a good team. I just like.
This is probably our biggest difference here is Dolan. Me and Ethan gave him an A. You gave him a C.
He might be a little mean on my part.
Yeah, you're being mean. You're a bully.
I might be mean.
You guys are definitely being mean to the kid. Poor fucker.
I mean,
jeez. Yeah, I mean,
synergy we're on it is
Bales will never give himself an S, but an electric. There's actually electric. We're all a little off too.
Ethan down there with the D.
Yeah, Ethan's fuck you.
I'm looking at it again.
No, I think.
Yeah, you can keep it. I'm just saying we're.
I mean, like,
even the none of the teams are like that. Like the difference between an S and a D in this league, I don't think it's super big, just because like the power level's so much lower.
Yeah,
All I'll say is the only time Bills used the word garbage was against Chris right
that's
off
true.
the bat.
Yeah, Chris. I think everybody agrees. Chris has the
Yeah,
hardest
but
team
then
to play.
for electrics, I went straight off and was like, speed tiers are terrible.
Yeah, but
Chris
Like,
gets a C minus because Bells was mean.
okay.
if I'm gonna say something salty, it's gonna be that very first sentence, just like for drops. Defensively, this team is lacking. Like,
Maybe I just
That would have sounded way better on Chris's speed control.
everybody in Ethan
I-
actually goes C, but everybody in my thing got a grade higher, so that's why I hate guys B.
Moth gangs, all
Moth gang.
Fs. Moth
Yeah.
are all Fs.
No. I can't remember Ethan's team now, to be honest with you.
Just blindly rating me.
No. I remember why I put you as B.
F.
So that's it,
Put it
guys.
as B because those last 3 mons, you didn't like any of
That's
those.
Chad's team. Well, Chad's is a tanky team.
He's the fat team.
Maybe Drops and Confused will have a video like they did last time. But
It'd probably be better than ours.
yeah, ours was kind of shit. But all right, guys, we're gonna end it. Thanks.
Later.